Mimi Samia Suluhu Hassan naapa kwamba nitakuwa mwaminifu kwa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Naapa kwamba nitatenda kazi zangu za urais. Mwenyezi Mungu nisaidie.
President Samia Suluhu Hassan was once hailed as a symbol of hope, but now she's trending across Africa for all the wrong reasons. Today, her name is whispered alongside those of Idi Amin Dada, Jean Bedel Bokassa, and Mobutu Sese Seko, rulers whose smiles hid the cruelty of power. She was meant to be Tanzanians' light after the storm, the mother who will heal a wounded nation. But like fire pretending to be warmth, her rule has scorched the very hands that embraced her. But how did a woman once praised for humility turn into a symbol of fear? How did Tanzania, the land of Nyerere's ideals, find itself dancing again at the edge of dictatorship? Today we uncover the mask, the rise, and the machinery of control, the broken promises, the silenced voices, the hidden deals behind closed state house doors. This is not just the story of one woman's power. It is the story of how a nation's faith was betrayed in broad daylight. This is the tale of Samia Suluhu Hassan and how Tanzania elected the worst female dictator.
Niwaombe tokeni mwende mkapige kura. Ninayeongea hapa ni Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania na Amiri Jeshi Mkuu wa nchi hii.
October 2025. The atmosphere in the streets of Dar es Salaam erupted into a cry of anguish and anger. Hundreds of young Tanzanians poured into the roads, motorcycles trailing dust and defiance, chanting, "We want back our country." Police stations along Nelson Mandela Road were set ablaze, cars torched, vendors fleeing as tear gas hung in the air, and a nationwide internet outage struck, a digital blackout confirmed by the Observatory net blocks. Reports emerged of ballot papers found in a lorry, of polling stations deserted, of curfews imposed as dusk fell. The young walked in the smoke of tires and screams, demanding accountability for a process they believe was stolen. But this violence did not emerge overnight. It was the crescent of a long-built tension. Let us go back. On April 9th, 2025, Tanzania police arrested Tundu Lissu, a leader of the opposition party Chadema, after a rally in Mpinga. He was charged with treason, a capital offense. In April, he was disqualified from entering the 2025 election, and the party he led banned from meaningful participation. But earlier on August 2024, another wave of arrests hit Chadema members and youth organizers. They were prevented from gathering ahead of rallies. In the days before the vote, deputy party officials including John Heche were detained, some missing for days, their families in silence. As polling day dawned, the service of free communications vanished, and youth, feeling betrayed and voiceless, took to the streets. The memory of excluded votes, lorries full of extra ballots, and the smothering of opposition voices exploded into the flame. It began like a spark in the twilight. Magomeni, west of Dar es Salaam, walked columns of fire. and smoke and burning. Local clips on X, formerly Twitter, and WhatsApp groups showed youths hurling stones and petrol bombs into a car yard said to be connected to the finance minister's office. Whether fact or rumor, perception became truth in the flavor of the hour. Police rushed in, sirens pacing through the evening humidity. The crowd scattered only to regroup in Ubungo and Kimara, shouting haki yetu, haki yetu, our justice, our justice. And by nightfall, at least 12 vehicles lay charred, the metal skeletons glowing like protest memorials. Independent reporters confirmed multiple fires in Magomeni and Mwenge, though the alleged minister's yard claim it remains under the verification. It was a scene born not of mere vandalism but of frustration, a generation that felt robbed of its vote, striking at symbols of state privilege. In the neighboring Cameroon, a strikingly similar script play out. On 12th October 2025, Paul Biya, 92 years old and at the helm since 1982, he was declared winner of yet another term. Protesters in cities like Yaoundé and Douala burned tires, clashed with the security forces. Internet access was significantly disrupted. Biya's rule, long perched above accountability and pluralism, it mirrors the pattern now emerging in Tanzania under Samia Suluhu Hassan. Opposition leaders buried, youth in the streets, ballots questioned, communications cut. Thus, the rise of Samia Suluhu Hassan's Tanzania and Biya's Cameroon converge into a single theme: stability by suppression, growth built on constraint, hope turned into a manageable spectacle.
Kuna bomu lao moja liko pale.
Unafanya kazi njema mheshimiwa. Unafanya kazi njema sana. Na hongereni.
Joseph Pombe Magufuli.
Mimi nilipata bahati ya kuwa makamo wake. Alikuwa ni kiongozi asiyechoka kufundisha, kuelekeza kwa vitendo vipi anataka nchi hii iwe au nini kifanyike.
You might be wondering, how did Samia Suluhu Hassan rise to become a female dictator she is today? Well, let us go back. President Samia's story begins not in her palace, but in the coastal villages of Zanzibar. She was born on 27 January 1960 in Makunduchi, Zanzibar, a child of islands who will one day walk into the house of the state. Her public life was built slowly in offices that measured change in small and tangible acts. In the late 1980s, she became a development officer in Zanzibar, later working as a project manager for the World Food Program and overseeing regulation of non-governmental organizations, roles that taught her bureaucratic craft and the quiet arithmetic of power. From 2000 to 2010, Samia rose through the semi-autonomous government of Zanzibar, serving in ministerial portfolios that included youth, women, and trade, a decade in which she learned how to navigate party machines and local loyalties. In 2010, Samia won the parliamentary seat for Makunduchi, and she was appointed Minister of State in the Vice President office for the Union Affairs under President Jakaya Kikwete. Samia Suluhu Hassan, her national profile seal in 2015 when the ruling party CCM or Chama cha Mapinduzi selected her as John Magufuli's running mate, and she became vice president of the United Republic of Tanzania after the 2015 general elections. When President John Magufuli died in March 2021, Samia Suluhu Hassan was sworn in as the 6th president on 19 March 2021, making history as Tanzania's first female president, a president that we talk about today.
Joseph Pombe Magufuli.
Mimi nilipata bahati ya kuwa makamo wake.
Ninayeongea hapa ni Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania na Amiri Jeshi Mkuu wa nchi hii.
Katika karatasi ya kura utakuta orodha ya wagombea mbalimbali na nembo za vyama vinavyoshiriki uchaguzi. Kwa upande wa chama chetu cha Mapinduzi, alama yetu ni jembe na nyundo, na mheshimiwa mgombea anaelekeza. Wote tafadhali mtizame. Mtaona wagombea wetu wakiongozwa na yeye mwenyewe. Mgombea wetu ndio atakuwa karibu na sanduku, karibu na kisanduku ambacho tutatiki.
When Samia Suluhu Hassan took the oath on 19 March 2021, she inherited a nation shaped by the iron fist of her predecessor John Pombe Magufuli. She spoke of a new era, reconciliation, resilience, reforms and rebuilding, the so-called 4 R's of her leadership. Yet, as the applause faded, the undertow of authoritarian habits began to show. In early 2023, Samia Suluhu Hassan lifted a ban on opposition rallies that had stood since 2016. She reopened several print media outlets and proclaimed a desire for political pluralism. On the surface, you will say Tanzania looked like it was returning to the light. She even invited civil society into a task force on political reform. She declared that the draft of a new constitution will begin attending to citizens' voices. Indeed, Tanzania looked like it was developing. She presided over major transport projects, roads, railways, energy. One key project being the push for the standard gauge railway between Dar es Salaam and Dodoma. Her rhetoric was business, dignity, progress. But beneath the polish, a more subtle pattern emerged. Despite lifting bans, critics say those with the real power remained the same. In October 2024, the online operations of the publish of the newspaper The Citizen was suspended for 30 days after running an advert. The advert was referencing disappearances of dissents. And in August 2025, while Samia's nomination for the October general election was approved, major opposition candidates were buried. The machinery of the ruling party remained firmly in place, dissent tolerated only within carefully drawn boundaries.
Tegemewa kama mama, kama bibi, kama mke, kama raisi, kama amiri jeshi mkuu. Lakini nimetoka kuonesha umma wanaonifuata nyuma. Na nikijua kwamba kama raisi ni mchungaji na watu wengi nyuma na wachunga na wao wananitizama mimi.
The pattern is very familiar in Africa. Reformist veneer paired with deeper entrenchment. Like Robert Mugabe, who opened up Zimbabwe to investment and promised land reform while at the same time crushing opposition. Like Paul Kagame in Rwanda, who promotes development and gender inclusion while holding tight control over media and the opposition. Samia's Tanzania shows both the miracle of growth and the quiet retreat from genuine pluralism. There is a hidden network of power behind every government. Somewhere else they call it a deep state. Behind the official title of the president and the soft-spoken announcements, there is a network of influence shaped by appointments, allegiances, and family ties. In Tanzania, the network is tightening around President Samia Suluhu Hassan, not merely by election but by loyal gatekeepers and trusted insiders. For example, June 13, 2023, Samia appointed William Lukuvi as senior advisor to the president on political and social relations. This position created then to channel party state coordination directly to her office. Joining Lukuvi on the very same day were Haji Omar Fiche and others, a new president advisor board. These men serve not just as advisors. They are the men who ensure that party machinery, regional authority, and state appointments move in line with the center. August 26, 2025, President Samia swore in a new regional commissioner, including Amos Makala for Arusha, a trusted party ideologue previously serving as National Executive Committee Secretary for Ideology, Publicity, and Training. Makala's transfer from party propaganda to regional executive post reflects the blending of party control with the state governance. At the level of family dynamics, Samia's daughter Wanu Hafidh Amer, also referred as Mwanu Hafidh Amer, she holds a seat in the Zanzibar House of Representatives, a signal of dynastic extension beyond mainland Tanzania. This is the pattern seen once before in post-colonial Africa states, power handed not simply by vote but by lineage. And then the shadow of the security apparatus looms large. For example, Habib Galus Gambaga, born 4th April 1968 in Mtwara region, served as Deputy Director General of the Tanzania Intelligence and Security Service from December 23rd and was then appointed High Commissioner to Rwanda in May 25 by Samia. Through placements like this, the state machinery moves. It becomes an extension of personal networks, channeled via trusted operatives. In this arrangement, the smile remains, the tone still polite, yet the architecture of control has grown steel bonds. Appointments have become signals of loyalty, not capability. Regional power plays follow party instructions, not local accountability. And family begins to rhyme with succession. For every republic that slips into quiet command, the process is the same. The leader becomes the machine, and the machine becomes the leader. October 29, 2025, the city of Dar es Salaam trembled under the weight of a new rebellion. The youth, disillusioned and angry, they poured into the streets of Kariakoo and Mwenge, their chants echoing across the Indian Ocean breeze. Flames rose as cars belonging to the finance minister Mwigulu Nchemba were torched. In Arusha, a lorry allegedly ferrying pre-marked ballot papers was set ablaze near the Sakina junction. Within hours, Tanzania's internet went dark. WhatsApp, X, and YouTube were silenced, a blackout ordered by the Minister of Information under Nape Nnauye. But these flames didn't start that morning. They were sparks long ignited. Opposition figures like Freeman Mbowe of Chadema and Zitto Kabwe of ACT Wazalendo, it had been buried from rallies for months. Activities such as Maria Sarugi Serai, they were arrested in September for inciting public unrest. Even journalists like Eric Kabendera, who once wrote of Tanzanians' quiet slide into fear, they were all under watch. And now as Samia Suluhu's presidency hardens, comparisons will arise. Her tightening grip resembling Paul Biya's decades-old regime in Cameroon. Old men ruling through fear, silence, and spectacle. Yet here, the face of repression wears a smile, calm, soft-spoken, and motherly. but behind it, the machinery of control hums like a storm preparing to swallow our own nation. And so Tanzania stands at a dangerous crossroads. A land once proud of peace, now whispering the language of fear. Samia Suluhu Hassan once hailed as the mother of reconciliation. She now walks the path of iron and silence. Her smile, once her greatest weapon, now masks the fear of power unchallenged. From Dodoma to Mwanza, whispers grow louder. Is this the democracy Nyerere dreamed of, or the ghost of his warning? History, ever patient, it takes notes in the shadows. The youth have written their anger in fire and smoke, and the streets of Dar es Salaam remember their footsteps. For every regime that silences its people, history eventually speaks louder. And when it does, it remembers not the titles of the rulers, but the cries of the ruled. This is the Red Mic.